Mr. Folajomi Ibrahim. Welcome to the Powerful Podcast. How are you doing, my brother?
Thank you very much. I'm fine. Thank you.
I was talking to you earlier that do you know you are the first returning guest to the podcast? This is good.
Tell your next return guest that there's a two-timers club now.
We had a great conversation in the first time we spoke. We've done over 200 episodes now, so I'm happy to welcome you back to the podcast. So the first question I want to ask you is, what is one or two things that you believed about selling property that you no longer believe?
Quite simple. No property is too expensive to sell, and there's no such thing as there's no customer. Provided you are serving the most important, Maslow said it now, after security is food. No, you see, after food is security.
Yeah.
So housing is security. So definitely we are in the business of providing security for people. And once you position yourself properly, speak to the customer the way they understand that they are being spoken to and they are not being sold, and deliver on your promises, I think you should be quite straightforward. You can sell anything. Yeah. I'll use the analogy of airlines, as I mentioned before.
Right.
Qatar flies, Emirates flies, KLM flies, Ethiopia flies, Spirit Airlines fly, but everybody knows their level. And for you understand branding better than me. So as long as they associate your brand promise with what your deliverable is, I think you should be fine. If they know you as somebody that delivers high quality, somebody that doesn't joke with integrity like me, I don't ever, anything that will ever tarnish my image, I don't play with it, because that has been what has been carrying me so far. It speaks for me in rooms I will never be able to make it to. I've never been, I'll never be. So definitely I do not play with it. So once the brand is strong enough, you speak to the customer, they listen to you, and you deliver. You sell anything. What do you want to sell that has not been sold before? That it will be difficult for you? It's not, I don't think so.
Very powerful. I was reading the earnings report of Zenith Bank. I think they did 3.5 or 3 point something trillion naira in the last earnings call. And I think 6 point something percent of their loans went to real estate and construction. And that's very significant. Why that enthusiasm in the industry? And they say there's no money in the economy. What's going on?
What we also have to remember, first of all, let me start with what you mentioned last, is that the economy is cyclical. There are downturns and there are upturns. I think we are already on our way up like this. We experienced some down in the past few months. So I think we are going up now. Things are adjusting. Now, about no money being in the economy, I think the world we live in today is quite clear that, unlike before, where those that have always shout about their having, those that have now, they try to look poor. I'll give you an example. When I was looking for loans to buy a property a while back, and I had not done anything before, those that I went to meet and I was asking them for, if you have 5 million, just give me, let me join to my money, let me buy what I want to buy. I wasn't getting good responses. But once I delivered one project and they saw it, they were offering me 100 million. And I was wondering, do you actually have 100 million? I never knew you did. So those that it concerns, there is money in the economy. So don't worry about that one. Those that have. I don't think there's any challenge there. But when it comes to loans, while that number is a significant number, I would say it's not big enough. Yes, banks are putting a lot forward when it comes to development. But if you look at the sheer scale of development in Nigeria, and real estate being a high ticket item, you not really put it as a whole lot. If you take 6% of 3.5 trillion, I think you should be at around 2 billion, isn't it? Am I getting, or is it 200 billion?
Yes.
I think that's the figure.
Yeah.
200 billion is just about 100 projects. If you are looking at Ikoyi size projects, you're probably talking maybe just 5. So that is not a lot. Nigeria is a big country. Zenith is Zenith International Bank. So if they're actually even doing Nigeria alone, that figure should be at least times 5. So yes, developers know that banks don't really like us. They usually go for shorter term loans where they are back in the money is back with interest in 6 months, 9 months.
Yeah.
But an average project that is going to be a high ticket item takes 18 months, 18 to 24. If they are bigger, they take 36. So banks don't usually want to loan us money. So if they did, definitely that figure will be much higher than that. How much is 200 billion? Yes, it's a lot of money, but it's not a lot because of what you are trying to do. It's just like you want to construct the coastal road right now, and we are talking about when 2013, a road was averagely £1 billion per kilometer, and everything between 2013 and 2025 is about times 10. So it's safe to say that an average kilometer now to construct is 10 billion. So are you saying that all the money that Zenith Bank gave out was just for 20 kilometers of road? It's not a lot if you really look at it.
This is very good. You know, I never thought about it this way.
If we're talking rice, if we're talking about rice, say, it's a lot of money. That rice probably would have fed this many people in Nigeria, but real estate, no.
This is so good. This is so good. Correct me if I'm wrong. You get most of your sales or the starting conversation of most of your sales for your property online. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Tell us why the power of storytelling, of a building of a brand. Because before I got you on the podcast, I was watching your videos. I saw that you were educating in a different way. I saw it. It was very, very clear. Why is it important that founders or CEOs, even if they can't educate like you, employ somebody to really, you even show us back end of what you're doing. I remember when you went to China, to show you that I'm following you, you were unpacking the journey when you went to China to buy materials for one of your projects. Why is storytelling and brand building important in selling even a high ticket item like real estate? And for context, if you can give context, how much is the average price of your property, if you can put it in naira or in dollars, so that people have this perception that, look, I can sell anything online, really?
The last project I just finished, we started selling at 50 million, and we didn't make any sale at 50. We made our first sale at 55 million. So that already proves that I don't see customers does not mean I'll drop my price. I'll sell for what I will sell for. Now our final sale with the last 2 units we sold was at 110 million. And that proves that you can sell anything on the internet. It just requires that the person you are selling to believes that you deliver. I think that's what's important.
How do you make them believe?
And first off, they need to know you. Who are you? Explain who you are. Prove to them that you are this person. And it's easy for me because I'm not trying to present a different person online. This is me. I am a straightforward person. I like to believe that I am intelligent, but I'm also stupid enough to make the mistakes and fail forward, which is something I don't hide. And I don't play with my integrity.
I like that.
Now, I also chose a field that I know what I'm doing. And I take my time to learn more every time. So yes, there are people that are smarter than me, but if you take an average, I'm definitely not going to be average. You understand? So I'm doing my best on the technical parts, and I'm also telling you about it. So definitely, and I always encourage people to do that because I know the industry is big enough. I cannot be the only Superman in the area.
That's right.
As Two-Face,
That's right.
Baba said.
Yeah.
But it is quite easy to push yourself forward if it's something you decide you want to do. Now, on the other hand as well, so many influencers online or content creators are creating content as a job. You understand? They feed off of master classes, sponsorships, things like that.
Yeah.
But there is now the content creator like you and me. We have a business we are running. Do you understand? We have what we are doing for a living. We just happen to make content. So that is the new style. And anytime they ask me that who do I compare myself to, I always say Elon Musk. because he's one of the only founders that takes the internet seriously.
That's right.
You understand? So if you position yourself, if you decide you cannot do it, then employ a forward-facing person that will do that for you. Those days, it was getting somebody to put on Forbes 30 over under 30, getting somebody on Time Magazine, somebody that is facing for the brand.
Mm-hmm.
But now, because if we really look at it, our real estate companies these days are not as big as they used to be those days. Those days, people had to pull money together, get things from the government, sell to maybe like the entire federal civil service.
Yeah.
There have to be big boys in the business. But now, anybody can get into development. It just depends on the size. So if we are looking at the average Joe that wants to get on the internet, that wants to sell their real estate, their project is usually below, or is usually somewhere between 600 million and 6 billion naira. You understand? Project sum. So in that level, you are still too small to be saying that you can't go on the internet. You understand? If you are doing that number every year, then it's a different conversation. But if you can't do that number every year, then you are not really too big. But if you are already hitting those numbers, and I'm not talking revenue now, I'm talking like profit. So if you can do that, then you are making sense. So what are you complaining about? Then the last thing is social proof.
Yeah.
When we completed this project, of all our subscribers, only 2 people decided that they were going to show on camera with me. Only 2. Every other person
How
said, my
many
enemies must not.
units was this?
16. Of the 16, I sold 14 from the internet.
How much is one unit?
It started at 55, it ended at 110. But people bought at different prices.
Of the 16, you sold 14 on the internet.
Yes, I did.
Sorry, I want to be as tactical as possible. How many meetings did that lead to before the money was exchanged?
It varied. At the point where I'll say an average of 5. An average of 5.
But the
lowest
attention, you
was,
got the attention first from the internet.
yes.
Powerful.
The some had to come. There was somebody that came the first time, came the second time, came the third time. When he came with his brother. Then he traveled to the UK. Then he sent his lawyer to come. Different things. There was somebody that the realtor, he saw the property. He liked it. He messaged me, but he wasn't sure. Then he saw a realtor post it, and he was like, "Yes, I saw this guy. You are my realtor. Go and meet them and go and look at what's going on there."
I like that.
So he called me and he said, "Somebody is coming." And I saw the guy. I was like, "I know you now. You are a realtor." He said, "Yes. Your guy sent this thing to me and said he wanted to buy."
Yeah.
So at different levels, it was varying. So somebody committed, and after a while, they were like, "I'm not doing again." Return their money back. So it depends, but majority came from the internet.
This is very, 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 very inspiring and very, very, very encouraging to encourage somebody to know that, look, you can sell anything. It depends on your positioning as well on the internet. It depends on your position. What is an industry outside the real estate industry that you look at, or a company outside the industry and you look at? Because you're a student of business and you go like, these people, they get it. They just get it. They know how to sell. They know how to market. Whether it's an African company, a Nigerian company, or an outside company.
Nothing comes to mind immediately, but over the course of this, I'm sure it will come to me. I want to pick a company that I'm sure 100% they are killing it.
Great.
Nothing comes to mind immediately.
So
okay, outside of real estate, it's hard though. But there's this guy that is a top New York seller,
Ryan Serhant. Sell it like Ryan.
Yeah.
Like Serhant, yeah. It's massive.
Yeah,
it's big. It's big. He gets it. He gets it.
Yeah, take it over.
Yes.
But outside of real estate, there's a company. Okay, construction still counts.
Yes.
There is a company in Alberta, Canada. I can't remember their name. Those ones too, they are crazy on construction marketing.
Really?
And from what they do, it's clear that these guys they are too busy. They have too much work to do.
The
So last I checked, I
yeah.
even found out that a friend of mine was actually in their procurement team. He was working as a contractor with them.
Wow.
And I called him, I was like, that they are still on hiring spree like this, so that they are getting new projects and they have to hire more people to,
Beauty.
work for them to keep track. So it's crazy.
Great.
Social media is doing a lot for a lot of people, and the people that are sitting down and waiting,
So good. So
I'll
good.
not lie to you, you keep waiting. It's up to you.
Guys, if you're enjoying this conversation, I hope you're enjoying it. And if you want the transcript of this conversation, because I'm going to do a transcript of it, the link is going to be in the show notes. So you get the transcript of all. This is like a masterclass that this great man is dropping here. Folajomi, I believe in identity. I don't know how deep you are in psychology, but today I was having a coaching session with a client of mine that I'm on retainer with, working with their sales team. And I said to them that your target every month, for example, is like $5,000 for a product. They're not in real estate, but another industry. Then I said to them that what is the identity of a person that makes $5,000 every single month and average 100 calls? Because in this company, we make 100 sales calls every single day. This company I'm coaching. Because I believe that anybody who's producing a result that you don't yet have, there's a way they think. They have a different self-identity or self-worth. If we know that identity, perhaps, and mirror it, perhaps we may produce that kind of result. You've done business, and to the glory of God, you're successful at it and you're succeeding at it. What do you think is the identity of a salesperson, a real estate person that wins?
Somebody that walks into a room and nobody wants to keep quiet because they are, bad mouthing them because they are bad people. They are very straightforward. When they walk into a place, people want to, attach themselves to him or her because there is always something to gain. Number one, the person is very useful.
Very
The
useful.
person knows a whole lot. He knows a whole lot about a whole lot.
I like that.
Second, thirdly, the person sees solutions everywhere they look. You never catch them complaining about how bad Nigeria is.
Come on.
They are not suckers. They don't suck. You understand? When you hit them with a problem, they are already calculating that, is this a financial source or are we helping humanity like this? Or they never look at it and be like, because traffic again. Somebody else will be thinking that, what if we can propose to Lagos State government 70-30 sharing formula? We put cameras everywhere, we set this place up, revenue for the government for those that are breaking the law. Things like that. Those are the type of that's the way those type of people think. They are solution minded, they are entrepreneurial in every way they think. They enter a room and people want to talk to them because there's always something to gain.
I like that.
They know a lot about a whole lot. Now, lastly, when they come across, you never catch them lying. Yes, they might omit because we are in business, but you can never hold them like this and say this guy is a liar. Then lastly, I think the last thing is they are not the type of people that give up.
Yeah.
They pivot. Maybe they finally get to somewhere where they are stuck. They pivot, but they don't stop. I'll give you an example.
Please do.
You want to close a sale and you've been on this customer for the past 5 years. I have a customer like that, and they finally closed.
5 years.
After 5
Full.
years, they finally closed. Yes. So it happens where I know that there's no benefit. If I want to be angry, I'll be like, before I pick the phone, I might be like, this man again. I need to start explaining. But the man, some way, somehow, felt maybe he was testing to see how much bullshit he could actually push through. Things like that. But finally, it was like, okay, this guy is actually who he says he is. And this guy is actually interested in getting me something that will benefit me. You understand? And I feel like that is where a lot of people lack. They want to sell. That's all. But they don't know whether there is a product client fit. If your client is happy with what they want to buy, you don't need to make them, they will bring customers for you.
Exactly.
But even before you close them, they need to be sure. Yes, there are a lot of gullible people. You understand? Sometimes they'll take you at how handsome you are, how you speak, how you come across, maybe remind them of their daddy or something. You understand? There are other things that actually might influence closing. However, if you are hitting the facts on the head, they have no choice but to, fall in line. Except there's something that is missing that, they are not sharing with you. There is a topic I like to delve into, and it's called, what's the word? It's in languages. It's called, it's pathos, ethos, and logos.
Yes.
It's under rhetoric.
Yes. It's on the rhetoric. Yeah.
So, rhetoric, yes. So, me, I like to start with logos. That's logic. Hit them logically first. When you are done, then go to ethos.
Yeah.
Ethos, you appeal to authority.
Yeah.
Do this, do that, do this, do that. Then you hit with pathos.
That's the proof.
Why is this thing?
Yeah.
Why are you passionate about this?
Yeah.
If you don't buy these things, your friend, and you always speak things that you are sure is true. You don't just throw them. I know a lot of people. There's a particular age you get to and a particular wealth you attain, where all that is left is providing bragging rights to your friends. You understand? So you can also tap into that and use that to sell your products, which is not a bad thing. I've sold to somebody and he's always saying, I always tell my friends, I always get the best deal. That is our own way to, pepper our friends that if you come to me, I always have the best thing.
Yeah.
So it's in our own interest to make sure that she finds the best things to use.
Very good. Very good. How do you deal with failure? Because I was telling somebody that I said successful people, they fail more than unsuccessful people. It's just that they get themselves up again. They're very resilient. How do you deal with failure?
If you know that it's part of the process, then you just move on. I don't stop to worry about it because I feel like it's part of it. You understand? If you see it, if you know that this is what is going to happen, or this is what you expect to happen on the way to this place, definitely it's something that you just deal with and move on. Why would you be wasting time? Yes, there's no lie. Once in a while, you communicate with friends and family and you sulk. This thing has happened again. But that is after you've done what you needed to do. It's not in the moment, the heat of the moment you start, this thing has gone this way. No. Although, in fairness, I've not had my first crisis yet. There's a man that I've been praying to be my mentor for the past, I think, 6 months now, or no, 4 months, that I've been, begging to enter his mentorship, although he has not accepted me. He always says that, Fola, your first crisis is going to teach you your true identity. So I've not had it yet. He has had his own.
After the call, I think I know who you're talking about. It's versus my clients.
So I feel like when that happens, I'll be able to tell you for a fact. But at least to the existence I've had so far, I can tell you that this is how I would have handled it.
Great. Fola, I know that you're very busy, man. Hey, guys, before we conclude on the podcast, so if you just click on the subscribe button. Many people that watch this, they don't click on the subscribe button. Click on the subscribe button on YouTube, the subscribe button on Spotify, on Apple. Click on the plus button. Again, this episode of the Paul podcast was powered by Sales Factory Community. It is a paid WhatsApp community of over 200 salespeople and professionals and entrepreneurs from all over the world. Here's what happens in the group. Number 1, I drop a sales nugget Monday to Friday. Every Wednesday, we do roast my content or roast my sales pitch or sales call. You drop your content, everybody in the community, contribute their ideas about the content to make it better. So you have group coaching. We review a book every month on the 15th of every month. This month, we are reviewing Fanatical Prospecting every single month. We network. So join us. It's $200 and it covers you for the whole year. When you join, you get all my books for free. You get my course 5-day Make Sales Challenge for free. And you get our past book reviews for free as well. The link is in the show notes. Let's get back to the episode and then we'll conclude. There was a story you said that resonated with a lot of people the last time you came about how you set a goal to fail, to set a goal to say, okay, I will make 150 calls before I stop. if I make my first sale, but you made your first sale, I think, and in the hundreds. Can you share that story with us as we wrap up?
26.
Yes, to tell that story.
Yes, quite straightforward. I told myself that this is the amount of calls I'm going to, or this is the amount of times I'm going to push. And at the point where I hit this number, I'll stop. And that will be it. I'll move on to the next thing. Because for every time I set a goal, I usually put a time to it so that sunk cost fallacy will not set in.
Yeah.
So I put a number to it, and lo and behold, 26,
On the
as I mentioned.
26th call.
Yeah, 26, yeah.
I like what he did. It was what Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett calls giving yourself a margin of safety.
Yeah.
And you were not focused on the outcome. You just focus on the process. You just focus on the process.
Yeah.
And the outcome took care of itself. Folajomi, I know you're very busy, so I don't want to take a lot of your time. If you had to do it all over again, now we're fast forward, you're 80 years old, you have all the wealth and influence all over the world, and you are looking at your younger self who's about to start real estate, what are the top 2 advice you give to him and say, if you do these 2 things, most likely you will surely succeed?
That will be a difficult one to answer because I never look at my life like that.
Fair enough.
I don't.
Okay,
That
let's
will
turn the
require.
question. If we're going to advise a younger person that comes and says, I want to get into this space, what advice will you give to the person?
I pray you're still in school, and if you are, make the hell out of network because you'll never meet that many critical thinkers ever again. You would never. If you gather at the biggest church convention in the world, it will only be filled with Christians. You will never have a mix, a boilerplate of, potential drug dealers, presidents, pastors, cultists, everybody with their own area where they excel at. You are lucky you did well in JAMB and post-UME. You got into a school where everybody is an egghead. You understand? Where everybody is smart. Definitely, they all live and go to great places. And if you played your card right, you already have access to a plethora of people that would give you access to things that you never miss out on. Now, secondly, create a blue ocean for yourself. A place where at least you have room to breathe with nobody, trying to take what is yours, and you have time to focus.
I like that.
You understand? That and I mean in business now, where you can, sell in peace, things like that, so that you can succeed. Then when you've done that, expand your team and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's it. Yeah. Usually, the way I did is the way I would also advise. Don't jump straight into the biggest thing you can find. Give yourself time and give yourself target.
Yeah.
Start with something small. Gather your confidence because it really helps. I remember a time, I think, where we were looking for money, and we were looking for, I think it was about 100 million. We had gotten money from here and there, here and there, and we were looking for 50 million. Yes, that was the only person that was willing to give us 50 million at once. And we had spoken because we speak with a lot of people, nobody has, it's not everybody that says they'll drop that you actually see the money.
Yeah.
So that night, I saw the alert.
Oh, praise God. Praise God.
And I jumped up and started shouting, the game is afoot, the game is afoot, the game is afoot. That's a line from Sherlock Holmes. And it was quite funny because the confidence boost that gave me, at that point, I would have, if you told me to punch a wall and it would come down, I'll be confident enough to punch it. You understand? So start with things that will actually boost your confidence.
Yeah.
If you want to sell something of maybe 500 at the end of the day, start with the one that is 0.5, then 1, then 2, then 10, then 50. So by the time you try 50 and 50 fails you, you say, I did 20 now. What was in 50? I try again. Before you know it, you keep going and going and going and going. You've gotten to where you're going to now.
Very
So
good.
I feel like, sorry, you'd also notice that my vocabulary is a bit limited. And that's because when I decided to start Folajomi, I decided that one of the parameters of my content creation was that I broke it down to the layman. And that made me drop a lot of big words I would normally use. And now I've become so good at it that I don't even know how to speak my intelligence anymore.
That's your winning edge.
So, but there are
That's
places
your
you
winning
enter.
edge. Charlie Munger said
There are
that.
some places you
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry, Charlie Munger
There are some
said that.
places you
Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah.
this one we are interrupting ourselves.
Yeah.
So I go to places where I speak and it's like, are you sure this guy is educated?
It's their problem, not yours.
I guess that's the way to put it. So pardon my limited vocabulary when I speak.
Nah, I mean, if everybody could be like you won't stand out.
True.
Jeff Bezos said differentiation is survival.
That's true.
It's survival. Charlie Munger said that the winning system in business is to go ridiculously high at minimizing a variable, or ridiculously low, ridiculously high at maximizing a variable, or ridiculously low at minimizing a variable. You see some shops in America and the UK, their strategy is that, look, you pay for every nylon that you use to carry the bag. It won't give you free bag. That's their strategy. Are ridiculously at either minimizing or maximizing a variable. Once you find out your variable, just go hard on it.
True.
He said, when the odds are in your favor, bet heavily. So please don't change it. I hope you enjoyed this conversation like I did, my brother.
Yes, I did.
It's always great talking to you. People may want to know, so what's like your morning routine like? What kind of books do you read? What kind of podcasts do you listen to? What do you do in the morning when you wake up? So what's your typical morning like when you get up in the morning?
Wake up, pray, doom scroll a bit. Then I don't take to readings as much as I used to.
Yeah.
Honestly, I favor audiobooks now.
Very good. What are you reading? What are you listening to right now?
And I'm taking Naval Ravikant.
That's my dude, man.
How to get rich. No, I can't remember the name, but it's a very long 3-hour podcast.
Yeah, I'm listening to it right now. Let me show you, sir. No wonder this guy is my friend. We just like the same things, man. Yo, that's what I'm listening to right now on my podcast. I'll show you just now. But go ahead, be talking.
Then there's also a bad habit that I have now, and is solely relying, not solely, but getting my information from AI.
It's not a bad habit, it's the future.
It is.
No, I will argue against
now.
you on that, and I'll tell you why. I tell my children something recently. I said, if you ask AI questions every single day, you will increase your IQ by over 20%. You want to know my favorite prompt?
What?
I said, do it like a 10-year-old. All those private equity mergers and acquisition, I said, teach me like a 12-year-old. Like a 10 is amazing. The best.
So that's basically what it is.
You're the best,
Thank
man.
you very much.
I'm happy to call you friend, and I'm happy to see your progress, and I know that your future is so bright. We need to wear shades.
Thank you very much.
We need to wear shades. So guys, follow Folajomi on Instagram. I'm going to put the link in his show notes. Get ready. He may host a masterclass very, very soon, and stay tuned on the podcast. And I'm sure he will let me know, and I will let you all know on how to participate in it. You need to learn a lot, drink from the fountain of his wisdom, Yeah, so follow him. Send him a direct mail and say, I just listened to you on Powerful Podcast. I really enjoyed. This episode comes up on Sunday. What else? I'm sure he's going to come back again. Maybe not this year, but it's definitely coming back again next year.
Don't worry. Third Timers Club will be exclusive.
Yes. So thank you so much, my brother. Let's just gist a little bit after again. Click on the link on the subscribe button. Subscribe to it. If you want the show notes, get it. Join Sales Factory community. I bring in speakers to speak every now and then. You never can tell. Folajomi may just show up and give a talk for like 10 minutes to members of the community. If you also want one-on-one sales coaching for your business, The link is also going to be in the show notes. I'm currently working on 2 companies right now. I'm on retainer. I just worked with one. They did $20 million in revenue. So get in touch and let's take your sales and your business to the next level. Folajomi, don't go anywhere yet. Too. Let's just do small bag.